Very good evening to you, esteemed viewer. We apologize for that little glitch, but we are grateful that we are on air right now. This is the Family Hour, empowering families one episode at a time. Edrine, Osteen, Mukalazi is my name. Today is a Wednesday, and we are discussing finances. It is important that we know about our finances, especially the fact that we are still in the early days of the year 2023. Now, today we are looking at debt management. I know we all opt for borrowing because it is the option that is left when you realize that you are in a crisis or in a point of insufficiency. But what happens is how you manage your debts is very, very important. We know people who borrow money. They borrow and then borrow to pay this particular debt, so they leave the other debt and then they'll borrow to. So your circle or your cycle is in borrow, pay the other debt, borrow, pay the other debt. But there are always systematic ways and strategies of managing your debts so that they don't become a burden to you, the bearer. Today, we are discussing debt management, and we are glad we have Reverend Jasper with us. Reverend, a Happy New Year.
Same to you.
It's a pleasure having you.
And good evening and Happy New Year to all of you in our studios and those who watch us.
Amen.
And I can assure you I'm glad I'm here.
We're also glad you're here in this new year and our first program this year.
Yeah, the first one, and we are dealing with what you are talking about, debt, and I pray that we shall make what they call a debt portfolio.
Sure.
That you list all the debts you have, where you pay interest, debts where you don't pay interest, and then obligations to pay. Somebody gave you cement and you never paid them. Then you also list obligations. They are called the payables, that I need school fees, I need. So that you have a portfolio. If you do it in the beginning of the year, it is very, very good, because it will help you to know, by the way, I need to clear this, I need to clear this, so that by the end of the season, you are really not distressed.
This is something that very many people don't do. That is why when someone calls you and they remind you of a date, you say, hey, and then you have to borrow from someone else so that you can clear this one, and then you...
Others will not even pick your calls because they know that you are going to ask them for that money. So please profile your debts. And as you profile, you can do 4 things. Actually, that's what we
start from there.
Profiling. Number 1, you talk about the debt amount. How much is it? What is the interest rate for that debt? Then number 3, what is the due date? Due date means when am I supposed to be paying? Because it could be 15th, it could be end of month. Then the last one is how long is this debt? How long means, is it given for 4 years, for 3 years, for 2 years? That's how you now put a portfolio. And that will help you now to say, if it is a very high interest loan, I will need to pay it. Or even sell it. Now, selling debt, of course, you have talked about it, is okay as long as you are not selling at a higher interest. So I can, if I have a loan of 20%, I can get another loan to clear it. But it must be at a lesser percentage. Otherwise, you are trapped in in a debt trap. And so that's what you need to put, your loans, you profile them. So that you begin saying, if it is a small loan, I can even clear it. If it is this big loan, I can now reschedule it. Rescheduling means instead of paying it in 1 year, I can pay it in 2 years with the chunks which I can manage. But profiling is very, very important, especially now that we are beginning a year. Just go somewhere.
There is another season that is coming, which is back to school. Very soon we are from the festive season, now back to school. There are memes that we read on social media. So someone posted something that, blessed are those who spend all their December salary in December, so they will know the toughness of January.
But of course, you see, people must spend also. So the question is not whether to spend, but whether to spend in your means. Now, there are those who borrow the money, even to go home.
Exactly.
Okay, I borrow so that I visit home.
And I stock stuff for them.
That's not rational. Why? Because we are now entering into a pit which you are not able to get out. Transport costs were high during Christmas. Food became slightly more expensive. Not actually slightly. Meat of 15 became 20. Chicken of 14 became 22. So there was things hiking.
Yes.
So the only way is sometimes to wait and go, like me, home after Christmas. On 26th, I drove home with my family. Yes. And it is still Christmas season.
Yes.
And we still went to church and ministered and came back. But you see, 26th, there is lesser traffic.
Yes.
There is less distress in terms of how much you can pay. And in a way, you buy what they never bought during Christmas at a very cheap price.
True.
Because people are now desperate. They have nothing to sell. So I'm not saying people shouldn't celebrate. I'm only saying please celebrate within your means, knowing that January is what they call a shock month. Shock month means it has more days than
they used to call it 100 days of January.
It has more days and you have lesser amount because the propensity to spend, especially in the Christmas period, is so high that when it is now January, people are looking around. And then the reopening of offices is happening either 3rd or 4th or 9th. So there is a little bit of holiday, meaning you are not actually doing what they call active work. And for those who do work that is, earns every day, so you have lost also what they call time to get your money. And so you are actually in big trouble. And that's why, Easter holiday, Christmas holiday, and other holidays are a danger, especially to those who are who are already in debt. So in the future, please plan on how you will spend your holiday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, we get back to the borrowing. There is something you talked about, selling off a loan.
Yes.
But we look at someone who looks at borrowing. We know this coming season, there is someone who has already laid a strategy of borrowing money probably to take them through this back to school. But remember, it is only 3 months. After 3 months,
they are back.
back to school will be back. But what should someone consider before they take a decision of taking a loan or borrowing?
About, again, 4 factors. The first one is the amount. How much do I need? Then the question is, what do I need it for? If it is for school fees, sorry. That's an expenditure which will not earn you anything. So you will enter debt and you'll be paying interest on something that in the short run will never earn you anything.
Banks are telling parents, we have school fees loans.
Yes, I normally don't go for it and I can't. Why? Because school fees loan, of course, the good thing is that it is at a lower interest. But that's an expenditure which you will make on top of other scholastic materials. They call it grab and others. Then you won't get it back quickly. But it has interest. So you are paying more than you borrowed, yet what you borrowed for is not bringing you money. So it is the amount, then what you are borrowing for. It is not wise to get a debt, to get a loan for purchasing of a car, unless if you are using it for Uber, unless if you are using it to do commercial purpose for it to earn. But if you get a car, it is an expenditure item. You are putting in fuel, possibly even paying for a license, and every day it is wearing out. So when you are paying for that car plus interest, you will end up in distress. So what you are borrowing it for. Then number 3, the interest rate. Now, it is interesting that in Uganda, when they mention, 20% per annum, we think that's little. No, it is not. And so you need to negotiate interest rates. I know people who have taken loans of 36% interest rate per annum. When they hear per year, 36 per year, 10 million, only 3.6 million, they begin saying, let me get. I can assure you, there is generally no business which can make that money in a year when you are operating. So beware, negotiate interest rates. And interest rates are negotiated based on central bank rate, check. Then you can track inflation rates, plus or minus 5. Please negotiate. You know, banks will come, you sign here quickly. No. For me, before I sign, together with my wife, we normally negotiate. Because it is our money. It is our money. And the challenge with the high interest rate, with these payment periods, you miss once, you miss twice, then they will sell what you put as collateral. So instead of interest rate, then the duration. How long am I to pay this? Is it flexible enough so that, now listen to this, so that I'm paying not more than 20% of my monthly earnings for a loan. It shouldn't be more than 20%. But most of us, I can assure you, we pay even more than 50% of what we earn as the servicing what? Servicing loans. Then finally, before you now go for a loan, also talk about your revenue sources. Am I able to finance this facility? And in case I do not finance it, what are the measures for me to pay back? Because again, if it is a loan, let me tell you, you will pay back. Of course, we have many Ugandans who don't want to pay back. They get money, they go to court, you know that you had no jurisdiction. I normally read and laugh. You get those $1 million, and you go to court for court to say this bank is not operating in Uganda. No, if you got it, you sign it. Please pay. Ignore this of jurisdiction. What you got that money. And that's why really our nation is falling into trouble. We are not good. You get money, then you urge when you are paying. You urge before getting the money. You even abuse them. You say that you are not operating in Uganda. Part of the money you are in South Africa, you are in Kenya, so I don't want your money. But you have gotten it, used it for years, and then you go to court to say, by the way, they shouldn't have given me this loan. That's sickness. And I thank God for courts of law. I mean, the question is, did you get this money? The answer is yes. If you got it, please pay. And for me, I don't care, even if they sell their property. Because, misappropriation means that you are banking on other people's squat. So that you use now the judicial system to ensure that you don't pay. So, as long as you have gotten that loan, have that fallback position. In case I don't pay, what is the risk of me losing this? Where else can I go in order for me not to lose this good thing? And so I encourage you, instead of again arguing, your interest rates are high, add the interest rate in the beginning, but you can't reach the middle or at the end and begin saying I couldn't pay because the bank made me sign here. No, you signed, and the moment you signed, you committed yourself, and so have those fallback positions to say, okay, I think. By the way, they are even understanding when you go back and say, please reschedule, please reduce interest rate, please consider, because like COVID affected many of us. So what can I do? Because you see, a good bank, I'm talking about a good bank, a good circle, they also want their money back. Yes. But of course, internally, you have individuals who are targeting the asset you put as collateral. You put a house. Inside, there's somebody targeting it. But that's eyeing your house. They are eyeing the house. And your failure to pay is their enjoyment. I mean, they say, now we have a what? So, but also, if you are very, very meticulous, escalate it. Go to the manager, go to the MD. I mean, tell them that my inability to pay doesn't mean I don't want to pay. And show them if you had the accounts, because loans are best given on the past history. You know, you show them your accounts, you show them your collateral, you show them your business. Of course, there are some banks again which don't care about that. All they want is collateral loan, because some loan officers are measured on how much they have given
they have
out
targets,
rather than whether they were meticulous. That's why a certain school got a loan, a public school got 100 million, and I wrote an article on it. You know, you can't get a loan on behalf of a school.
And a public school,
Yes, even churches getting a loan on behalf of a church, and then or a church institution, and you put land for the church, but because it's not yours. As a bank, we are supposed to look for the owners of the land, and they sign 3 and put there what? A seal that we have agreed that this church, this school, this health center can get a loan using our land as a collateral at this percentage. But nobody does it. Others will go and buy church land, even lease it.
Yes.
Even if it is a sublease, they get it, sublease it without consent from Uganda Land Commission, Uganda Land Board, from church. And then when they are coming for renewal, we say, no, you are not the owner. But we tell them that, but I can assure you, Ugandans are eager to do wrong. Unfortunately.
Reverend, let's take a short commercial break. When we return, you're going to tell us how Ugandans are eager to do wrong.
Ramesses, you grew up together, close as brothers.
Remember their prophecy. Samson, chosen by the living God.
You dare to defy me? Let the furnace be heated sevenfold. Bind them and cast them into the fire.
It begins.
Take the ark!
This is Church of Uganda Family TV, enriching lives.
This is the Family Hour, empowering families one episode at a time. There is nothing that hurts when you go into the villages and you find almost every house by the roadside having bank property on sale. Even small circles, right, bank property on sale, and you feel bad. But partly because probably there was an error in managing that particular debt, and so that is why probably the ones who gave you their money are coming for the collateral you gave them. Reverend, before the break you told us that Ugandans are very eager to do wrong, and I want us to pick it from there. Yes. And then later we shall talk about the strategies.
In other words, there are policies that people know, or sometimes they also don't know, but even if we inform them, the propensity, the inside part of them is that I want to do something wrong. I used to work with a certain organization where we would meet smugglers. They would rather smuggle at a higher cost than paying taxes. So in other words, the propensity for people to do wrong is very high. I know a company, I met them, told them, for you to lease church land, you need to pay this percentage. They went behind and even, abused the systems. Yes, they have that land, but I'm so sure when they come for renewal, it will be disastrous. But you see, you talk, you are misunderstood, you continue encouraging them, do the right thing they don't want, and then eventually that's the problem. Now I will go to circles after mentioning this. Yes. There are people now around, for example, squatters. You tell them, get what they call certificate of occupancy, so that you are legally there. You can even use it to go and get some little money from the bank. Certificate of occupancy, that you see I'm here, but this is the Buganda land, this is the other one is the landlord, this is church land. You tell them, but they don't care. You know why? Because they know that when the church comes, they will go into newspapers and it become headlines. Then secondly, for them they think posterity means that if they die, their children will be able to fight. No, you can't fight for what is not yours. And so encourage people, get certificates of occupancy, get leases, pay rental income, pay busuru, so that you are legally there and you can sleep properly. But again, we have that high propensity. So that brings me now to these circles and loans. Because of high propensity to cheat, somebody will come and say, I want a loan. How many? 3 million. They are so sure that after getting it, they will shift. Shift from where they stay. Secondly, they are so sure that what they have put, like if they put security, it is not theirs. Either they rent, or the TV screen belongs to the husband or the wife, and then they put it. And then loan officers come and take photos. So the propensity to steal is both by the one wanting a loan and also the one giving a loan. They don't really care. That's why you now have that old woman putting a thumbprint on a percentage, which is not what you agreed with. Why? Because she's old, so let her put that thumbprint. Let the husband also put. Time for recovery, I don't care. The bank will come and use, or the circle will come and use all the available means. And available means, they have a lawyer. This old person doesn't have a lawyer. I visited Soroti. There was an agricultural product, actually seedlings, where they encouraged people to grow very many seedlings, and many people entered debt to grow seedlings. When they became mature, nobody bought the seedlings. And so circles and banks, as you were saying, you enter village, this is for sale, this is for sale, this is for sale. And really the law is clear. You can't sell a homestead. Okay, you can't even attach a homestead using the Local Council Court Act of 2006. You are not supposed to attach a homestead. Why? Because children, people, they live their livelihood on that. But they are in the in the villages, business selling what? Business selling those pieces. And we have now reduced our children to beggars.
Exactly.
To street children. And they have nothing to do. Why? Because they come with the force of law. Others are now loan sharks. Loan sharks are those people who give you interest. And every month you are paying 10%. Now, listen to me. You can't be normal if you go for a loan that pays 10%, more than 10% a month. There is again no business that you can do that can give you, 10% of 10 million means 1 million. And we are talking of a month.
Yes.
So you can't have a business where you are doing that business, you get more than 1 million as a profit in a month. Okay. I think there are those which are there, but they are rare. But if they are there, then you don't need a loan to go, to go and do them. No. You'll have capital, capacity to create capital to do them. So, but we have people who pay 5%, 10%. I met somebody who was paying 20% per month. And meaning, if you have 2 million, 20%, you are paying 400,000 per month. Within 5 months, you have paid the whole principal as interest, and the principal remains. And for them, there is what they call recapitalizing. That when you fail to pay 400,000 on 2 million, listen to this because math can be tough. It is 20% per month. So if you get 2 million and you fail to pay the 20% of 2 million in that month, which is 400,000, they now make 400,000 principal to make 2.4. Now you are renting, you are hiring, you are loaning that somebody 2.4 million. If they fail again, it becomes 2.88. Until when the person collapses and dies of heart attack. Because surely, at that rate, it is impossible to clear. Then there are these what they call village saving groups. Village saving groups.
Yes.
Those are good in the sense that even if they get from you interest, they will share it. And you are among those who will share it. But also the danger sometimes is when not everybody borrows. There are some of us who are I'm in circles, but we have borrowed in 2 circles only. The rest we just save. So we are not good. Why? Because if it is high interest, if it is high interest, for us we are getting dividends and savings getting interest, but we are not contributing to the growth of the what? The growth of that circle, those circles. And so again, be careful. Just check how much do I need? What do I need it for? What is the interest rate? How long will I pay it? And in case things are tough, what can I do? So it takes us to revenue sources.
Yes, revenue sources.
You are getting this money, but what is your source? You are getting it from the right, but what is on the left? Is it agriculture? Is it business? So that as you get the loan, you are either putting it in that business for the business to get profit, and you pay both interest and principal. But in case you are getting a loan, again, for health reasons, for education, to marry another wife, there are those who have no heads, and then they get a loan, they marry a wife. I can assure you, the trouble will come. Because many of us, again, they get debts thinking that we shall really reach a time for paying when we have money. And when time comes, we can't pay. And that's a tragedy. Yeah.
Wow. So, Reverend, we look at, of course, we talk about this because we speak this. We believe you have a story to tell.
Yes.
About this very building we are on.
Yes.
That because of the efforts and your expertise, you saved the building And up to
yes.
now, we can freely and rejoicefully say we are comfortably seated at
we
Church
are
House.
nearly there.
We are nearly there,
Nearly
but
there.
at least we are not. It's no longer a threat.
It is not a big threat.
Yes.
In other words, it is not a big risk.
Yes.
And of course, very many efforts from Archbishop, from others. But let me now say this: that you see, we also entered the debt. Entering debt without necessarily calculating, and I won't go into the detail. Calculating the outflows. Okay, we have gotten this debt, yes, but how is it going? How shall we pay it? And I think we've estimated our capacity to pay back because we have the numbers. And then this building took longer to be completed.
Yeah.
So in terms of buildings, let me advise, when you are building a house, it is not proper to get a loan in the beginning. Let me repeat for many people.
Yes.
It is a blunder to get a loan in the beginning. Why? Because you are still building and it won't earn you income until after a certain period. So it is okay to get a loan when you are finishing and furnishing, so that through rent you are able to pay back. But when you get a loan and you are taking 5 years without finishing the building, it becomes a pain, a serious pain. Why? Because of course, there is even what they call grace period, which is not really gracious. Grace period means the period where you are not paying principal, but you are paying interest. So there is no grace in grace period. Okay. Me, I don't take grace periods. No. I want to begin paying the next month. Again, the definition of grace period is a period where the principal remains, but you are paying what? Interest. And some people ask for 1 year only paying what? Interest. I rather begin paying on the principal early. Why? Because the bank will laugh. You are only paying interest. It's okay. Why? They are not losing. But when you say, I want to begin paying principal, that's better. So in terms of building, again, the advice is don't get a facility, especially a big facility, when you are beginning. Get it towards the end, so that when you finish, people enter and you begin paying from rent. Otherwise, you need external sources to continue facilitating payment of that of that debt. And I think that's where challenges came in, but we thank God for the Archbishop, for many Christians who came in and gave through the love gift. Then we had some items which we sold, and apparently we also have something that is coming soon, so that when we clear the loan, then we begin enjoying the benefits of building such a facility
in the heart of Kampala.
You see, this is among the top 10 tall buildings in Kampala. Please Google. Among the top 10, we have Church House. And it is a very good investment. And those who invested dioceses, I can assure you, within 1 or 2 years, they will begin harvesting what they invested in. Why? Because these facilities will be able to now, even if you got now another loan to build another house, which you are going to do soon, it will be okay. Why? Because you'll get something from here which can facilitate building other facility. But again, now how did we manage the debt? Number one, pay more than the minimum pay. If you get money, please pay more, reduce the principal. That's number one. So if you are paying 1 million per month, for example, and you get 3 million, pay all the 3. So that 2 now reduces on the principal. Secondly, reduce on spending. And as a church, I can assure you, last time I told you the vehicle has clocked 300,000 mileage, and we are not going to purchase a newer one until when we are so sure that we are out of what? To reduce spending. If you are eating, in Serena, sorry to use Serena as the name on TV, please go to Owino so that you reduce on what? On what you are using, on spending. Because I went to a certain hotel, a soda, 70K. I calculated, those are 7 sodas elsewhere. And you see soda is soda inside. Even mineral water. The content is the same. But you know the Serene, you are paying 6,000 for a serene environment. So reduce on how you spend on. Number 3, what we did, we said pay the highest interest rate. So the loan with the highest interest rate, we pay it quicker than the one with the lower interest rate. In fact, even when we are clearing, we say, the one with the higher interest rate, clear it quickly. So that now you are now dealing with manageable interests. Then don't accumulate more debts. What the church did and what I encourage you to do is, in the way you were speaking in the beginning, don't go for another loan to pay for a what? To pay for a loan, because there are loan processing fees, there are what and what. And then when you total, you have actually done nothing. You have just transferred risk. And sometimes, Okonko in which book, he would, when a person who had a loan would come, he would just show him a graph.
Okonko's dad.
Yes,
and tells them, all those people are demanding me money, but they have not even come to shout
but
for.
You with little, with just 2 million, the one of 50 hasn't come. So please go away. The graph is clear. So please don't go for more loans. Don't accumulate loans. In other words, even as a church, really the truth is, we now minimize loans. We encourage people. Let's have that window where we're not getting more loans. Instead, we are accumulating revenue for us to have capacity to help one another in the future. Then negotiate to reduce interest. And I can assure you, our Archbishop negotiated, and there was a tremendous reduction of interest. And our board members and involve everybody. If it is a company, then if it is an individual, go meet managers. Tell them that, you see, what I was doing, now I can't do it, please reduce. Or else tell me what to do. And I can assure you, every bank again is eager to ensure that their customer qualifies even for facilities. Then, if it is possible, so combine loans into one. If it is possible, have all those loans combined into one, so that you are dealing with one what? One loan. And then finally, pay off these other obligations. They are not necessarily loans, but the risk of you appearing, for example, in a newspaper because you haven't paid so and so. So keep on also ensuring that you are paying recurrent loans, but also, financing the other bigger loans, so that you have a bigger propensity to get a loan. But there are certain Ugandans, if they knock at your door, they say they want a loan. You run away. Why? Because you are so sure this person will never what? Will never pay. And many of them are Christians, unfortunately. You don't have reach there. It is actually even okay to, for example, call a bank, call a person whom you have money, and say, by the way, this month I'm not able to pay. What do we do? Now, you are putting the other person inside your problems, but you are trying to tell them that this time it is tough. But many people keep quiet, and like an ostrich, we hide, and things come and do what? Come and hit us.
Well, Reverend, as we wind up this discussion, there is a very big problem. I saw it when I was growing up. There were women groups that used to get money from particular microfinance institutions that had come to empower women. But they never taught these ladies how to spend this money. So a lady gets a loan, let me solve 1 million, and then they'll use that money to probably buy a sofa set of 500,000 and a coffee set. So they stock in the house. The house looks better, but they have to pay back the loan with an interest. But because these institutions have not taught people about the loan, all these people do is to struggle to get their money. And I think it is the same thing that people who are getting the parish model funds and the Yoga funds are facing currently, that they are putting out a lot of efforts to get the money, but there is no sensitization. Now, at least let them learn from this particular show.
Yes, again, there is nobody who will bring money for you to use it. Okay, there is no money available, we love you, come and use it. No. These microfinances, these village savings organizations, forget about coming to empower you even as a woman. No. At the end, there is some arm wanting to take away from you, especially if it is not an NGO. NGO is non-profit, non-governmental. But when I'm a microfinance, when I'm this village saving circle, I can assure you behind there is somebody who wants profit. So they don't care even to teach you that to buy a sofa set for you to feel nice as you sit, and after a month they are coming to collect it. That's stupidity of the highest order. And let me repeat this, and I said it last time, that in social accountability, in terms of empowering these women, there are 4 things we consider. Number 1 is empowerment. To empower this woman, that even as you get this money, do this so that in the future you are not simply getting, you are also helping others. Secondly, is what they call access to information. You are giving me this facility. What percentage? Is there another facility that is lesser percentage? And access to information is important. Why? Because the moment I have comparison, then I will say, by the way, no. Instead of accessing money to purchase this type of product, I can access this product at interest-free loan. Access information. Number 3, which is very important, is a responsive government. That you see, part of what the government is doing is to empower people down there, to tell them, circle, run away. This, please don't touch. So that this woman, as she goes to purchase this sofa set, she's aware of the dangers of what? Of getting money to purchase a non-productive item. Non-productive means sofa set, TV. Even if you want to watch family TV, okay, thank you. But please don't go for a loan to buy family TV. No. Don't
go for a loan to buy that smartphone.
Exactly, no. Why? Because it is a consumption good.
These days phones are given out on loans.
Yes. It will keep consuming. And yet if you have Katoch, it will still call. You can receive a message and mobile money there. But this smartphone, where after a month you are not sleeping, trouble. Then the last one is what we call context. And that's where I'm coming from. Context. So we have empowerment, access to information, responsive government, but also context. That these people have been there. They have been receiving money, but nothing has been happening. That these people, PDM, Parish Development Model, we are bringing 100 million. And nobody is making effort to look for those who are already producing, for them to facilitate either additional value or to facilitate them to produce more. They are simply saying, you take the money. And I can assure you, as you told me the other time, some will marry other wives, others will go and enter adjono groups and drink all the money, margua. And the next day, they are in trouble because they are supposed to pay back. Others are saying, this is government money, let's just
handshake, presidential handshake.
Yes, it is eating, we shall vote. Now, surely that's now the context we are in, that we have people who are not eager to pay. Why? Because they think everything is free, it is hand given. So let's encourage our people to work hard, enter dates which they can manage, but more so, become lenders, not what? Not borrowers.
Thank you so much, Reverend. And thank you so much to you, our viewer. Like Reverend told us as we are starting, that create a portfolio of your debts. And that is the best way to manage all your debts, because at least they'll all be listed on one piece of paper and you'll be able to know that. So, I believe you're doing that in case you have one, and in case you do not have any debt, thank God, but do not borrow, especially if you do not need that particular loan. Thank you so much for watching. This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Edrine, Osteen, Mukalazi is my name. We had Reverend Jasper, the Group CEO of Church Commissioners Holdings. Next is Soul Moment, and we wish you a good night.
God bless you.